We want them to come up with a multifaceted, comprehensive plan to address the assaults, to address the needs of the right in public, because we're here, we want to advocate for the right in public. We're the one that knows the system, the intricacy of this system, the transit system better than anyone else, and we need to be involved in that process. We had prior meetings with Janet Lieber prior to Alton Scott getting assaulted, prior meetings asking him, and Alton Scott, when he got assaulted, he would have been dead had it not been for that good Samaritan, that doctor, to help to save his life. And missed his artery, I think about half an inch to be clear. His family, spending time with his daughters and his wife, expressed to me how important he was in their life and how much he means to their family. That brings tears to me. My heart dropped the night I got that call, and you keep getting these calls every night. We get these calls 2, 3. We have to answer our phone. All these officers here have to respond to their members, go to the hospital, make sure they're okay. So we're involved deeply, and in any way possible that I could help with my members, I will give my life for my own members. And I will make sure my mother, who rides the bus every day to get to her facility, and she's 82, or shortly from 82, and she has to go on the bus, and I have to entrust that bus operator to get her there safely. If something happens on that bus and she knows that same route every day, what happens? What happens to my mother? So you have to realize we have families, we have people that we represent, we have our members, and we have a right in public. Everyone has a responsibility to protect us all. We're all tax-paying citizens and residents of this great state of New York, and we want it to be the best state. I did meet with Mayor Adams prior to the deployment. He did assure me they're looking to put more NYPD officers in the subway system. We are glad to join NYPD. We asked for the MTA police also to be deployed into the system, and Jan Oliva said he couldn't do that. I don't know why he couldn't do that. It's beyond words. You're supposed to be able to help us in any way necessary. And that's why we called to action. And Governor Hochul responded with the deployment of National Guard. But like I said, we need a multifaceted approach, a comprehensive plan that will bring the safety for all our members and the right in public of New York to feel like this is the best city and the best transit system in the world, because it has the potential to be like none other. New York, the best state, the most diverse state. We have the most the demographics here in this state. It's not like any other. The diversity in the state is like no other. We're all one people, and we'll fight together. And that's my message to you today.
You want to do questions now?
Sure.
Well, I'll start. Two things. Hoping you can talk about this morning's assault with the spitting.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, this morning's ad in the Post, harsh in your eyes or deserved? Dumb and Dumber's hardcore.
So when Jana Lieber, Tim Minton, made a statement that I said something about NYPD, I did not. That is a destruction between two unions, the PBA and TW Local 100, because we support our NYPD officers who help us on the subway system. So you cannot make a statement that is for at that level, at the executive level, to be that irresponsible. That's deserving. Our members deserve the convicts, and I say it very wholeheartedly, because you got to be a convict, you got to be some kind of criminal. You have no heart to slash someone in the neck who is defenseless, just turning their head to secure the platform of the riding public, and you slash his neck. That is cowardly as you can get. So that is nothing compared to what our members are suffering.
Even this morning's incident?
This morning incident, believe it or not, that's not just this morning. That's every day, at least 5 times a day. Every day, 5 times a day. That's the most disgusting thing you can do to a human being. I would like to walk the 2 Broadway and spit in Jana Lieber's face and see if he'll take it from me. And then we'll see if that's okay. Because the most disgusting thing you could do to a human being is spitting in their face, because it comes with all kind of diseases. The psychological impact that you cannot react is, I was a bus operator. I am a bus operator. I made my way to union president because I believe in this union fighting for the rights of the people. I am an advocate for civil rights. I'm an advocate for my people. But at the end of the day, our members deserve to be protected like any other person.
So just to be clear, you're not asking for a different police force per se? Because that's what the perception was, that the MTA has felt, that you were saying that you couldn't rely on the MTA or the NYPD's police, and maybe there should be a specialized police force to get to know your conductors and things like that.
No, I think the discussion, not from me,
Right.
but for those all those in charge and all those who have, all the stakeholders, they were saying there should be a transit division. There were a transit division police in the past, and there's a claim that it was effective. It could be an NYPD transit division. NYPD officers themselves are being assaulted. School teachers are being assaulted. The traffic agents are being assaulted. But our members at Local 100, in their stance, like the conductor, is defenseless. We cannot react. If we react, we're in trouble. There's a discipline process we have to face. And then on top of that, no one wants to get hurt because they're not providing doctors to you anymore. So how can we help our members? I have to create different structure in TW with our own resources of departments within, with many of these people behind me here, to help our members, take the phone calls, get them to a doctor, even provide transportation ourselves for them. That is unbelievable when the responsibility of the employer is there, right? It's in the law. It's in the law about workplace violence. They are supposed to provide us with safe workspaces. It's in the law. Apply the law. Then we don't have an issue with them come up with this plan that's comprehensive, the approach, multifaceted. It has to look that way for us.
Mr. Davis, question about the governor's move to add National Guard and state troopers. So first off, what does that tell you, historically? I mean, we don't see that type of move every day, National Guard's, soldiers being deployed into the system. And second of all, do you question if that at all is really just optics, to make it look like something is being done to help the problem, but not a real solution?
Well, what it says to me, that everyone realizes an obvious problem. They realize there's a safety issue here, and right now we have it as something that must be addressed, and that is safety for our members and for the riding public. That's what it says to me. Whatever way the governor thinks best, that's her decision. We do accept the help. We do accept that approach that she recognized there was an issue and she responded. What's the second part of the question?
No, you answer both.
Okay.
But Richie, what would a multifaceted approach then look like in concrete terms?
So that's pretty good that you can ask me that, but our focus would be in our membership. Our multifaceted approach will be what is best for our membership. We need to sit down with the stakeholders, the public advocate, the clergies, the different groups for the public, our ATU brothers and sisters, which some of them is actually here with me today, joining forces to come up with what that looks like. We do have some ideas, and at a later date we'll be able to share some of those ideas with you. We're not ready to open up that right now, because every time I have a discussion, Mr. Lieber takes it as his discussion and goes to the governor's office to present it in his own way. So at this point, we will sit down in a room together and come up with my director of safety, with Governor Hochul's office, Mayor Eric Adams, which I've met with and I explained some of it. We need to look at a mental health crisis, which we take lightly, and a mental health crisis that is a challenge just not for us at Local 100, but for the riding public. And we have to make sure that we're able to address the issues for everyone across the board.
Would that, Richie, involve putting armed personnel on places beyond fare control areas, the turnstiles?
So let me put something into you a little bit. The other night I went to the congestion pricing hearing. And we working into a building, an MTA facility, doesn't engage with the public because they have metal detectors, they have, you have to tap to get in the building. There was at least 30 armed police officers for that board meeting. Why do they need 30 armed police officers for a congestion pricing hearing? Are we criminals coming into the congestion pricing testifying? Are those people who stood up on a microphone, are they criminals? Is that what you're saying? Because at this point, if somebody can carry a gun, we had a shootout the train station, Mount Eden in the Bronx, right? We had the slashing of the conductor. Still don't know what weapon was used. We had numerous incidents that happened that involved weapons. I don't know the clear-cut answer to that question, but what I do know is our members and the right in public need to be safe and they need help. That's what I know. Yeah.
Rich, I want to ask you about cameras. So when Mr. Scott was attacked, there has apparently been no video footage of that. We're talking more than a year and a half out from the shooting in Sunset Park when the NTA got hit for not having sufficient security camera coverage there. There's apparently, despite the fact that we have a description of the attacker, we don't have any video footage of the attacker. It seems like whatever cameras were there either didn't capture him or weren't working. At the same time, I talk to a number of your members regularly, and there's concern, and has been historically concern, about cameras in the cabs being used for discipline. So if the NTA wants to, if the NTA's current surveillance system isn't up to snuff, which it doesn't seem to be, then why accede to them being able to put cameras in cabs?
So I can't answer the Transit Authority, and I commend you for talking to our members and being passionate for them. I do really thank you very much for understanding what we go through on a daily basis. And the camera question is a pretty good one. And asking about the different approach to the cameras, Sunset Park with the bomber, the video footage here was horrible. Alton Scott, who I would have had him here today, but he does not want to stand in the way of the camera because of that exact reason, because he's not sure if they caught the assailant, whoever the person might be. I don't know. We don't know who it is. Right now, they don't know who it is. I'm not sure what NYPD has on their behalf, so I can't speak for them as far as that's concerned. But we do know they have an issue putting those cameras across the system, right? We have Shirley Martin is our CD vice president. I spoke to her department because they're in charge of installing a camera. I don't personally think they're ready to put cameras in every cab because you don't have the technology, the wiring. You can't retrofit those old cabs. You only can buy the trains with the new cameras, the R211 trains, which is Canelo Gomez from RTO. That's his department of operators trains, and from my understanding, R211 is a train that has the cameras, and they're focused more on discipline than they are the safety of our members. So naturally we want safety. If cameras is going to be what it is, but they have to show that multifaceted plan of how they intend to install the cameras. It says they're going to install cameras. Governor Hochul charged Unilever. They haven't put out a plan as what and how they're going to install those cameras. And we have every single person behind me has a special role with me that advised me, and Shirley Martin, her department, CD, which is that department, they're not ready to install those cameras in the old cabs right now. So with the approach of the cameras, it's interesting. They say that. We would like to see what that looks like. We embrace whatever safety aspect you bring to us. We embrace it. I personally sit in an infrastructure committee with John Chiarello, and at the time John Samus, our international president, who knows about the safety. And we come up with different ideas in those safety programs, and we have to get approved by the federal government. I also created 2 new systems, one for subways and one for buses, in a safety aspect involving all the stakeholders, including the mayor's office. And for some apparent reasons, those meetings happen and then they stop happening, right? And that we have to get back to that. The Transit Authority has to hold some responsibility and accountability with the cameras and the safety meetings.
Those safety meetings haven't been happening?
At this point, no. The infrastructure meeting, yes, because it's by the federal government and the way the standards are set, it's required for us to meet those. But the other meetings for the rest of the stakeholders behind me hasn't been happening.
Is the union happy with how prosecutors outside of Alvin Bragg's jurisdiction have handled transit crime?
Well, I will tell you, Darcel Clark has done a great job communicating with us. Eric Gonzalez, as well, has done a great job with us, speaking and communicating with us about what they needed to do and explain to us the process so we can help them when something happens. That is called communication and understanding to the problems of the transit workers. They come to our events, and we have a symposium that we do once a year that I've just created last year. Eric sat on that board and explained the process for us to understand. Alvin Bragg has taken a position more like the MTA than for the New York City public and MTA workers and our members as well. And I mean across the board, and I'm joined by my brothers from ATU, President Azadi, and I want to make sure that they know we're all together and this is a fight for all transit workers, ATU, TW, we're all in the same fight. For the city of New York, we're here standing. My entire life is in this lovely city. I would like to stay here all my life. This is where I would like to remain for my life. And there's no other place like this. Just transit system, that infrastructure, the congestion pricing money that they're supposed to receive, they haven't presented a plan of what they intend to do with that money yet. Because for some reason, when they get the money, they say they'll use it for one thing and then it shifts us to something else, and we don't have a voice in that, and we would like to have a voice in what that looks like.
But Richard, is there an immediate ask right now for all of these people who are behind you? What can be done by whatever miracle smoke signal or whatever today to try and protect your workers?
So our immediate ask is what I said. Come up with a multifaceted, comprehensive plan that recognize our safety, that we want our safety to be primary for us coming to work, going home safely. What that looks like, we'll spell out to you later.
Does that take
What does
a
that
meeting
look like
with?
outside of what we've seen from Governor Hochul, right? Because the 15 people are behind you right now tomorrow to prevent the spitting incident or to prevent someone being slashed. What is that thing that you're hearing even from the people behind you that would be that ultimate game changer?
Because, just to keep it clear, number one priority is our members. Number two, what that approach looks like, we have to sit down with various stakeholders from the public, from the different groups like Riders Alliance, our safety department, ATU safety, because they have a different approach. With that safety committee that we'll talk about, I will invite you to it one day so you can sit and see what we discussed in that room, so you can get ideas. The approach.
Is there a timeline you'd like to see that laid out in?
What's the time I like
Is there a
that?
timeline for that?
Right now, yesterday. I've been meeting with them prior, explain to them. You can use, generally but put, this is one approach for you. Generally but put a certain amount of people at turnstiles who stand there and watch the people jump over the turnstile anyway. So what was the point of that? That money could be used in some other ways to safeguard the city and its members. Those are the approaches we're talking about. They're not using monies the right way as far as safety. They're not looking at innovative ideas of what the public look like. They could use a face recognition scan at the turnstile, so when you have a conviction, there's a ban that's supposed to occur on that person going in the subway system. How do you enforce that? One of the ways is to put a face recognition or something of that nature to realize that person's subway system and track them where they're going.
How open are you to having conversations with MTA leadership about safety, not just as it relates to crime, but just generally?
That is a really good question. So we meet very frequently with the management at the lower level, and I should say lower management that manage everyday operation. We meet with them frequently. We want to make sure not only the safety of the public from crime, but we're invested on the director of safety with the equipment, the facilities, the locations. I think they made a big deal the other day about putting lighting in one place, putting lighting in one area, and said that would stop crime, right? That was a big announcement I think they made the other day. That lighting is missing in many other areas. Somebody could trip and fall. They could invest in that as well, right? How do you get the depots, the train stations, the standing areas, how do you make them safe? How do you make the people feel comfortable? They can invest. That's all safety concerns we have. And we do that on a daily basis. Every single department do that on a daily basis. We have a whole safety team here that goes into locations every day and send me detailed reports. So right now, we're upgrading facilities for our members, enhancing facilities, looking at ways to make the ride in public proper. But on the safety aspect, the ban is important to us, to ban the people out the subway system to create the crimes.
Does those conversations reach high up the ladder?
I meet with Jenna Lieber and Rich Davey. I don't think we can get higher than that. But that's who we meet with, and they know all these plans. There's emails exchanged back and forth. He meets with them regularly, and each vice president around me, this is Canela Gomez, RTO, Don Yates from Map Store. I see Danny D'Amato from MTA Bus, Rob Kelly, who's actually come up here, my liaison for the DA's office, who I get my information from, Sharice DeVoe is the PAC director, Danny the model, MTA bus again, and who am I missing back here? Any vice presidents there, put your hands up. Shirley Martin from CED, who I mentioned several times. Louis Alzadi from ATU, Queens. And we have Danny Casella's group from 1056, and he's the member services director, deal with all of the denied doctors' claims. That's what he deals with. So when I said I have an approach that would help, because we have the people with experience, everyone standing behind me have at least 15 to 20 years experience in the safety system.
If I could just, for a moment, you said you want a meeting and that the MTA hasn't been giving you meetings. And then you just said that you're regularly meeting with President of City Transit and with the chairman of the Transit Authority to talk about safety issues. So what meetings aren't happening and what do you need to talk about?
Let me be clear. I meet.
Right.
Mayor Adams, two days prior. We met with Jana Lieber, Rich Davey prior. We meet regularly. Right. That's our regular business operation. I said there's a specific committee I've created to address what she's asking about.
Right.
Besides safety, that committee addresses equipment failures, so we don't have derailments. They address issues of comp cases without not be able to see our doctors, and they address harassment, spitting incidents. We have the same goal as the governor and the MTA should have, is our members come to work every day, work, and go home back safely to their men. We have the same goal. But I said the meetings on the lower level do not happen because it doesn't trickle down from the top. It doesn't get where we discuss, it goes to something else. We discussed all of these plans prior to Governor Hochul making an announcement. We discussed with Jana Lieber. They changed to something else and made an announcement on the TV that I'm against NYPD. I don't know, even have an idea where that come from, but that was not a conversation. So everyone is not working, I say everyone, Jana Lieber is not working, to me, he's not working with integrity or concern of our members, our TW members and the riding public.
So when you say he's not acting with integrity and concern, what do you mean?
He takes everything we say and switches around to something else. It's simple. I say, he just told you the NYPD does not support us or we don't support them. That is not true. We work together. Mm-hmm. Those are some examples. Right. And we voiced his concern and safety prior to Governor Hochul deploying. We had all these meetings already.
So
okay?
if I could just sort of, if I could just follow, I mean, you put him in orange tuxedo in the newspaper this morning in an ad to make him look like a clown. You obviously don't care for him. How does that help?
I didn't say I don't care for him. He's any other human being like any other person I know. I said what he's doing to our transit workers is very clownish. When you don't provide doctors or when you don't follow up. We went to court. There was not a member from the transit authority with us in court. Does he really care about us? Not really. I don't know. Maybe you can speak to him about that. But somebody inside the question.
I'm gonna go with this.
Just to follow up on,
Yeah.
maybe it's me that I'm not understanding the part about the safety meeting that, you just mentioned that you created a specific committee that addresses equipment failures, harassment, et cetera. So who meets as part of that committee, and is your ask that Jana Lieber comes to that committee? Is that my right understanding of that?
No, we meet with Jana Lieber. He sells his stakeholders. We send ours. We join together in the meeting. The mayor's office is invited to that meeting. We had a discussion with Eric Adams recently, and he would like to join us in that meeting. I will send you what that diagram looks like so you can see it for yourself. If Alina will send it to you, and you get the inside look at what I'm speaking of and what I've created.
Is there an additional safety meeting that you're calling for?
It is an additional. It's already created. We just need to meet more frequently on what's supposed to happen.
And is that on you guys, or is that on?
Both sides.
So you need Jano and Dave?
Their stakeholders with our stakeholders.
More frequently.
More frequently.
That's what you're looking for.
Yep.
So you want more frequent meetings of the safety committee below the 20th floor.
Let me make clear. We want safety meetings that bring resolve to the city of New York, not just meetings. Let me make that clear to you. We need to resolve issues, not sit there, listen, and come back and have a different message to the public. We're all supposed to work together to figure out how to keep the members safe and the riding public safe. And I'm gonna take two more questions, right? You had one?
I was gonna say, do you guys keep numbers at this point on how many people in TWU have been assaulted or had these incidents this year? And just by a show of hands behind us, if you have experienced this yourself or know someone that has.
Your department, you're welcome to put your hands up.
Everybody.
Every day.
Everybody, right.
They all deal with it every day. I can show you my phone. It's all lit up in ways from yesterday to today, and it continues all day long.
And you keep numbers on there?
Yes, we have statistic numbers. Alina will get it and send it to you. Jana Lieber, first thing he said on TV in his press conference is that assaults was in the decline. Violent assaults is on the up. It's trending up again from what it has been before. If we don't be careful, we'll reach a point where it's beyond repair. So we have to bring it down and keep bringing it down. Our focus is to keep our members safe and the right and public safe, not make ill-advised comments like I'm against the NYPD or anything of that nature. We want the same things. We want safety for you who take the subway, the ride in public, with the congestion price of plane coming around. We need all those things to work in tandem. That's it. Okay? We're good?
Actually, I have one more.
Okay.
If I might, if you'll forgive me, because again, I'm sort of stupid. So in the criminal justice system, the cops investigate the crimes and the prosecutors prosecute the crimes. It sounds like you have a real beef with how Alvin Bragg is prosecuting these crimes, but it seems like the first half of that, policing the system, you're quite upset with too, and you're pinning it on Jano Lieber instead of the police department, which actually carries the responsibility. Why isn't the police commissioner?
I said nothing about the police system. I said that the police.
No, I'm telling you, that's how the system works. The police patrol the system.
No. The MTA, if you don't know how the system works, and I think you're a very intelligent man,
No, I'm
you're
very
definitely
stupid.
not stupid. The questions you ask me is very precise, so I know you're very smarter than you look. Than you may look, but you look like a very smart man to me. Okay, so that's an ill-advised comment on your behalf.
You know, it's fair enough.
So what I'm saying to you,
Right.
the MTA is an authority by themselves.
Right.
They determine an agenda, sitting with both the stakeholders, the police commissioner, MTA police commissioner, to take care of safety. I've yet to see who the system safety personnel is that they put in charge, right? What's his name again there?
Patrick Warren.
Patrick Warren. I haven't seen Patrick Warren in the news coming to answer any of your questions about safety. So all I see is Jana Lieber, who is assigned for safety on his behalf that can answer some of his questions for you. You'd have to ask them how they police the subway. But has the police department have a great relationship? We do, absolutely. Is MTA police has have a great relationship? Absolutely. Jana Lieber said he cannot deploy MTA police for whatever reason. Kathy Hochul stepped in and deployed the National Guard, right? Deployed the National Guard. So we don't have an answer for you. That's beyond our control. We're here. Our focus is on TW Local 100, our partner and brothers from ATU, who all work this transit system, and making sure that our members, our brothers, sisters, members, personnel, people, go back home to their family safely every day, and we want the same exact thing for the riding public.
That's right.
My mother is a member of the riding public. I want her to be safe.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry, please.